Hello Edexcel students, we've done it for paper 1, we're going again for paper 2. We're looking at major hot topic areas now for paper 2, and as with the paper 1 hot topics video, your job is to make sure you're giving an extra bit of weight towards these topic areas in your revision, 5-10% more of your time devoted to these topic areas. You want to make sure you're a master of the theory, but also where I give you context, you want to make sure you can confidently apply the context to the theory that you're learning. And of course that you're watching the videos in my revision for 2022 exams playlist as well. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're not missing out on any key video uploads ready for your final exam. So here we go, let's do this. Hot topics for paper 2. What are they? Well, the first major topic area for you guys to revise hard is economic growth. Edexcel have identified that macro objective as the one that's going to feature more so than the others. So really, to make sure you're ready for any kind of essay, whether it's a 10, 12, 15, even a 25 potentially, know the pros and cons of economic growth well. But I think more so for me, I would specialize heavily in knowing the pros and cons of GDP, the pros and cons of GNI too, as a measure of growth and as a measure of living standards. That's an essay title that screams likely for this year. Next, the topic area you must be revising really hard and giving extra weight to is macro policy. Edexcel very clearly said that all three are going to be featuring in your paper 2 this year. You could get 25 markers on each one in theory, so you've got to make sure you know them very well. Now, if they do come up as big essay questions, they're often themed. So not just knowing about these policies in theory, being able to apply them to major themes is absolutely crucial. So what are the themes for each one of these policies? Well, the fiscal policy, 2 major themes. Expansionary fiscal policy during COVID times in the UK and globally is a massive, massive theme. But also now we're very much in the contractionary fiscal policy side, aren't we? Using higher taxes, cuts to government spending in order to bring down government debt, to bring down our huge budget deficits, and to deal with high rates of inflation. These are all effects that we've had because of the huge expansionary fiscal policy we used during COVID times. So being able to know the pros and cons of both, the expansionary fiscal policy, why we did it, what the issues were during COVID times, and now the pros and cons of trying to bring down budget deficits with contractionary fiscal policy, very important. You're getting both learnt in your revision. On the monetary policy side, very similar themes. During COVID times, heavy expansionary monetary policy was used. Yes, interest rates were slashed, as low as they've been since the history of the Bank of England, but also globally, a big reduction in interest rates around the world we saw, but also heavy quantitative easing was used. So know both policies well, how you write about them, evaluating them within that context. But now we're very much in the contractionary monetary policy side, aren't we? The need for higher interest rates in order to deal with rampant inflation. So they're the major themes. Going back to COVID times, something else to bear in mind. There was heavy discussion about whether we should go negative with interest rates in the UK. So know a little bit about that, tie that into your expansionary monetary policy learning too. And on the supply side policy side, it's not just supply side policies and how they can achieve our core macro objectives. No, that supply side policies can be used for other goals too. So for example, to boost international competitiveness, to deal with a current account deficit, but also to promote regional growth. Targeted supply side policies can help to promote growth in the UK, let's say in the Midlands and in the North, and help to deal with regional inequalities. But also supply side policies can promote sustainable growth, growth without high rates of inflation, but also growth that's more environmentally friendly. So just make sure you can talk about supply side policies for some maybe non-core objectives as well as your core macro objectives. Next, we can talk about a major hot topic area, the topic area of free trade and protectionism. There are 2 potential 25 markers to be ready for within this topic area. First of all, a 25 marker about the pros and cons of free trade, and that could very much be linked to the UK's position post-Brexit and how our politicians have come out and they've said that we want the UK to be a global leader of free trade. We want the UK to be a champion of free trade. We've already signed so many free trade deals with countries around the world, including with the EU itself, which was the big one. So a 25 marker simply about the pros and cons of that, but also a 25 marker about the pros and cons of protectionism. And if you can choose your context, choose the US and China trade war. Started that trade war under Donald Trump back in 2018, but a trade war that's continued under Joe Biden. So knowing the pros and cons of protectionism, but with that context will be great revision. I think very strong likelihood one of those 25 markers will come up this year for you. Then globalization again has been identified by Edexcel this year. The major theme with globalization is more how globalization has been slowing down. Many countries around the world turning their back towards globalization. So to understand that context, just know about the problems that come with globalization. But I always think knowing who the winners and the losers of globalization have been will help you write an essay if that's the question that comes up. And lastly, guys, a couple of topic areas Edexcel have identified that you need to make sure you're revising. First of all, financial markets, but specifically, Edexcel have said it's the role of financial markets and the good they can do, but also financial market failure, all the different types, that is going to be featuring in exams this year. Not so much the role of regulation of financial markets, so that should be quite helpful. Focus your revision where Edexcel have said you should focus your revision. And the last topic area is income inequality. If it was me, I'd focus on the causes and the consequences of income and wealth inequality, and then you're set for a potential essay question there as well. So that, guys, covers all the major hot topic areas for paper 2 this year. As I said at the start, make sure you're weighing those up in your revision, more time devoted towards these topic areas, be a master of the theory, and make sure the context I've given you can actually apply to the key theory that you're learning as well. And you'll be absolutely ready to smash it in your paper 2 if these are the big questions that come up in your exam. But also, please, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you don't miss out on key uploads like this one, and also you're watching all the other relevant videos to help you for paper 2 and your other exams as well. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.